Okay. Well, then let's move this forward, right, with the Dolphins. And obviously, Stephen Ross came out because immediately once this Brian Flores news hit, people started linking Jim Harbaugh, a Michigan man, with Stephen Ross. You know, the Dolphins is also a Michigan
Mm-hmm.
man. So that storyline was getting some traction yesterday, but it seems like Stephen Ross is doing his best to try to keep Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Reports came out yesterday that because of how the structure is set up in college football, boosters can't supplement the coach's contract or the players' contracts or NIL deals or whatever it is. And since Stephen Ross does have some deep pockets and is a big booster of Michigan, he was probably going to try to supplement the contract for Jim Harbaugh to keep him at Michigan. So let's say he's out of the table, right? Who would you like to see be the next head coach of the Miami Dolphins?
Um, at this juncture, wouldn't surprise me if they went to an offensive-minded guy like a Brian Daboll or a Kellen Moore out of Dallas. Those would kind of be my two front runners in the clubhouse. Same individual that gave me background on the Greer Flores split, also gave me a little bit of background on Harbaugh. I guess Harbaugh actually did reach out to Stephen Ross and essentially said, like, come get me. And
Really?
yep, same individual, good background. Was told that Stephen Ross, after the firing of Brian Flores, prior to Stephen Ross's Zoom call, he reached out to Stephen Ross and essentially said, come get me. I will come be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And Stephen Ross is trying to play hard to get because he doesn't want to take Harbaugh from his alma mater. But I think if the coaching search kind of comes up skunk, I think Harbaugh may still be the guy as the leader in the clubhouse, especially when some of the beat reporters or former beat reporters like Armando Salguera of the Miami Herald as well too. He also works for Outkick now. Mentioned that Stephen Ross is looking for a head coach with prior experience and success in the NFL. Jay, I don't know about you, but like some of the coaches out there that are available for interviews, maybe I'm wrong, don't have a whole lot of success. Whether or not we want to agree or not, Harbaugh has had success in the NFL as a coach. He brought a team to the Super Bowl. He got the best out of Alex Smith and he got the best out of Colin Kaepernick. He could still potentially be the guy. I think it's going to be whether or not Stephen Ross is willing to accept taking him from his alma mater. But Harbaugh is willing to go if Ross says go.
Well, if that's the case, then maybe Stephen Ross floated that soundbite out there to make it as if he wasn't trying to take away
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh. It was put more on Jim Harbaugh leaving. You feel me?
Yep.
Because once you float that out there, then he's aligned with the Michigan fans, as in, all right, well, he's trying to do his best to keep Jim Harbaugh here, but now the onus is on Jim Harbaugh if he leaves Michigan.
Yep.
That's interesting. Look at Puma breaking down some Adam Schefter level news on the podcast.
Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff. And this is on very good background. I am not making this up out of thin air. This is person came to me and we discussed the Flores situation and that led to the Harbaugh deal.
Oh, okay. So basically, last question before we move off this topic. If you had to guess right now, who do you think would be the head coach of the Miami Dolphins in 2022?
Right now, getting ahead, I'll go with Harbaugh.
Okay, all right. Yeah, listen, I think if the Dolphins land him somehow, that would be absolutely wonderful. He's a better NFL head coach than he is a college coach because the college game that he signed up for 5 years ago is not the same college game now. We've seen the insane changes in the college landscape with NIL and transfer portals. It's basically the wild, wild west in college football right now. I was thinking about this the other day. Like, a player can go to a school, transfer the next year without any contracts. Like, it's basically free agency with no contracts and no stipulations. Nothing binds you in. You collect your money for a year. You can go to a different team and play for a different team the year after that. Like, it's the Wild West out there. And a lot of these older coaches, like the Jim Harbaughs and the Nick Sabans, they're hell-bent on not trying to play that game. So I could see it maybe in his mind. He's thinking, I don't got to deal with these kids trying to hit me up for a shoe deal or a watch deal. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Let me just go to the NFL and do what I know best. And to be real, he was a successful NFL head coach, right?
Yep.
He had Alex Smith with the 49ers for a little bit, got into the playoffs. He finally found Colin Kaepernick, and that propelled him into the Super Bowl. I think he could possibly have that level of success in Miami as well. So for your sake, I think it would be great to have Jim Harbaugh in the AFC East, and I can only imagine the the
Can
shit
you
talking he would
imagine
do
the
to
pressers
Bel-
between
Yeah.
him and friggin' Belichick?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
god.
Well, you remember when Jim Harbaugh was at Stanford and he beat the vaunted USC back in the heyday? He goes across the field, shakes Pete Carroll's hand, and he gives him like some attitude. Remember that?
Yep.
Pete Carroll's like, "Well, what'd you do that for?" And then like Jim Harbaugh's mocking him, like, "Oh, what'd you do that for?" You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would
The
be
handshake
kinda...
was too hard that day.
Yeah, exactly. I can only imagine the handshakes that Belichick and Jim Harbaugh would have.